Good morning, pre-game friends. I hope you are doing well. Let me go mute that. Hope you're well. I had to reset this morning. I overrode my Mac fans, and so my computer overheated, and I had to restart it. I prayed over it. Just a little morning ritual, just the norm. We have a busy day today. I'll officially get started in 2 minutes. So if you want to screenshot right now, this is my chart setup with my moving averages. And let's look at the earnings today. For the earnings today, the earnings this week. So today we have AMD, After Hours, Microsoft, Pinterest, Google, Visa, ENPH, Teradyne, TER. I don't know how it gets any bigger than this. Well, I guess we have Facebook tomorrow and Amazon Thursday. That's how it gets bigger, and Apple tomorrow. So today, AMD, Microsoft, Pinterest, and Google, those are the bigger ones. UPS killed it today, absolutely killed the earnings. So this is our earnings snapshot. If you want to take a picture of this, I'll leave it up for just a second. And then I will kill this. So AMD, Microsoft, Pinterest, Google, After Hours. All right, I'm going to delete this. TTM Squeeze Thinkorswim default. That is my oscillator at the bottom. And then here are my moving averages. The yellow candles are inside bars. Does it do anything besides color the bars yellow? No. This JC inside bars, it is just for my eyes. I don't want to strain them, and I want the inside bars to just pop out at me. So I'm going to delete this. Awesome, Michael. That is so good to hear. Michael, when to take profits is when it's extended. So when you have something where the RSI is overbought. So if you're swing trading, Michael, again, we'll get started in 1 minute. But if you're swing trading, let's just say that you want to go 4 hour. You can go 4 hour or daily, and the RSI gets overbought. That may be an area to take profits. So if you use Bollinger Bands, you can also use Bollinger Bands as target taking. Let me turn my Bollinger Bands on real quick. So here, for example, when ES hit Bollinger Bands here or here, that can be an area to take profit. Typically, RSI is a good place to take target. My favorite place to take profit is right near a resistance. So for example, if I'm in ES right now, ES keeps trucking along and we approach 41.9250, I may set an alert for 41.90, for example, right before we approach 41.9250 and take 1/3. I have found that I have a higher success rate taking a third at my target or at resistance, and then on any pullback I can add that third. That is if I'm an active trader. If you're a swing trader and you don't look at the chart every day, you just go in, you set your alert, say, okay, let me know when ES crosses 41.90, only one time, create. It will send me an email. And you can do the pop-up. The pop-up is really loud on TradingView. But you can also use your broker platform, Michael, to set an alert. If you use Thinkorswim, Interactive Brokers, and Fidelity, I've used those three for alerts in the past, and they all work very well. So another way that I take profit, and I'm just going to keep going with this because I've gotten this question a lot, is if you are a fib retracer, your target on ES, for example, on this most current move would be 41.97. So you could take a little bit right before resistance, 41.9250 or 41.97, or just good psychological levels, 4,200. It doesn't have to be extra complicated. All right, no problem. Matthew Mason, that's my maiden name, Mason, and my son's name. All right, let's get started. Good morning. Thank you for your patience. I have this Mac software where I said turn my fans off so y'all wouldn't have to hear it in the background. And I let my computer overheat. So that's what I'm dealing with this morning, a little blonde moment. So with ES, we barely got over this 41.85 by 41.8550 by 50 cents. We have resistance up at 41.8675, then 41.9250. We have I don't want to call this the inverse head and shoulders, but basically it's when the bulls start turning and burning and trying to pivot back to the higher side, bears pounce in and the bulls say not so fast, and they bull flag out on the right side. So it looks constructive, looks very constructive. Let's zoom out to the hourly. We broke our hourly uptrend by the loss of 41.7875, but again, I would say this is still constructive. You have a clearer perspective on the 4 hour. We have an inside bar on SPY futures, high of 41.8950, low of 41.7625. So we have this inside bar. If we could further tighten, that would be great. And just remember, a lot of things can happen today because people get scared. They get jumpy. Just a bunch of twitchy people out there before earnings saying, oh, I want to take my profit. Oh, I want to buy before earnings. I want to sell before earnings. So it can just make price a little bit temperamental. NASDAQ 4 hour inside bar as well. Resistance 14.044, support 14.007. And I'm really going to try to go back to your questions and answer as many as I can before my time is up. Wait, let me go back to NASDAQ. On NASDAQ, I mean, this just looks like a 4 hour bull flag. So we get that little 1 hour bobble. So you saw we lost our support right there, and then the bulls are turning and burning. So when you get this little bobble, excuse my words, I try to be as descriptive as possible. But basically the bulls lost their way and they said, whoa, let me take back over into a 15-minute uptrend. When you have a bear break with very little follow through, you zoom out and look for a potential bull flag on a higher time frame, and we have one on NASDAQ, potential 4 hour bull flag. And then I have people that message me saying, oh, look, we have a rising wedge. I got this message this morning. Absolutely could be a rising wedge on NASDAQ 4 hour. But guess what else it also is? It's higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So don't get crazy with your chart patterns, especially if you are a newer trader. As you get more experience, you'll see when these patterns mean more and when they don't. And for now, this is higher highs, higher lows. Don't get all twisted in your head that this is something else like a rising wedge. It'll make you jump out of positions sooner than you should. The only reason you should be jumping out of a NASDAQ long right now is if you're concerned about earnings, then that is a logical reason to exit a NASDAQ long right now. Otherwise, we have a trend trade. Trend trade means candles closes above the 8 EMA. We fought to hold it right here, and we did. So we still have a trend bull trade right now on NASDAQ, so don't be twitchy. So let's do our little game that we like to do on the 15-minute. Let me go back to ES. ES is above all EMAs on the 15-minute. NASDAQ above all EMAs. YM below, RTY above. So YM is our weakest right now. They're our weakest with a 15-minute equilibrium. We have support at 33.867, 33.820, resistance 33.892, and 33.916. So the Dow obviously is red right now, and the other three sisters are of the Fab Four are green. And RTY is above all the EMAs. We have a 15-minute inside bar, resistance 2300, support 2298. Let's zoom out like we did on everything else. 4 hour inside bar on RTY with resistance up at 2304, support 2291. We've got an 8 EMA trend trade. IWM looks very constructive. Look at it on the daily. You have a TTM squeeze. We broke to a higher high. A pullback on a higher low, any type of bull flag action here, it may be a place to enter IWM calls, RTY long, or TNA. TNA is the 3 times ETF for IWM long. And please, like I say, when we have really volatile names, you need to be an experienced bear to short those. Same thing, you need to be an experienced trader in general to trade 3 times ETFs. All right, let's go back in. We went over that 15-minute inside bar. Let's look at gold. Gold with a 1 hour. Man, this is just pitiful. This is not what you want to print off and take home to mom to put on her fridge, okay? This is shame. This is shame to the family. We have an hourly TTM squeeze, which means price is storing energy on gold. And bears are smacking it down. We had an hourly EQ bull break, and then we have that syringe. Y'all remember the syringe effect discussion from yesterday where we syringed into a block of overhead supply. We took in all that overhead supply and we didn't have enough to get over it. We syringed and backed down. So again, this is not what you want to print for mom's refrigerator. However, we did get a bull break. We have plenty of room for hourly high or low relative to 1775.80. And another issue is we're coming up into the Taylor Swift blank space overhead. We have all this area to deal with where we wiped out the order book, but we have a lot of overhead price history to deal with. At 1796.30 is your next resistance. So let's see what the gold bulls can pull together. I like that they have the TTM squeeze, meaning they have a lot of stored energy that could propel them higher. So think of it as this is your gasoline tank. How much gas is in the tank for an upside move or a downside move? I would say this is full. Your gas tank is full. You have a lot of energy and a lot of reserves to propel this forward. Oil, we have the API estimates after hours today at 4:30. So we are getting rejected right now by the hourly 200 MA. You have resistance up at 62.74, key support 62.04, then 61.92. Let me just zoom out a little bit on oil. 4-hour inside bar, and look, we got a frown overhead with a 50 MA. So we draw our little eyes, we draw our nose, and we draw the frown, the 50 MA overhead. And we can do the same thing when the 50 MA is below. We can draw a smile. But right now we have a frown, 50 MA overhead. Oil keeps bonking oil in the head. I actually have a little broadening wedge formation here. This may be a tradable. This is so clear. What is a broadening wedge formation? A megaphone. Think of the cheerleader, which I was the opposite of a cheerleader, as you can probably imagine. With all my sports analogies, I was a basketball girl, but this looks like a cheerleader megaphone, and that means where we get this little higher low, higher high, not so fast, lower low, not so fast, higher high, not so fast, and then we just have exhaustion. We have the bulls get exhausted up here, the bears get exhausted up here. So with oil, 4-hour megaphone, I actually looked at this earlier and it didn't jump out at me like it is jumping out at me now. So oil may be a short. Bitcoin with a huge move after hours. Okay, so we are holding the EMAs. So if you're a newer trader and you bought this dip and you come to me and you say, what do I do with Bitcoin? Do I sell? What do I do? Do I hold? Make your life simple. Trading is hard. Marriage is harder, let me tell you. But trading is hard. Stay in these trades to the bull side as long as we get candle closes above your EMAs. Candle closes above the EMAs means we're bullish. So this becomes your spirit guide. So let's just say we're all hippy dippy. And if you have candle closes above your spirit guide, that's telling you this is, I like to do plus signs. It makes it a little bit easier. Plus signs, that means we're bullish. If we get candle closes below, we're bearish. So with Bitcoin, you just keep walking your stop up. Your last hourly support is at 54,410, 53,321. I have nothing against hippies, by the way. I'm a frustrated hippie. I want to be one. I just don't know how. Next resistance after the high of this move, 55,363 is up at 55,469. Then Ethereum had a beautiful move. So when we have this move here, got the higher high, higher low, but we're V-shaping up, I would expect a lower high relative to 2646. And then we have plenty of room for a higher low relative to 2060. Doesn't mean that we will get a lower high, but let's see how much, what is that? 28%. So this is 28% between the higher high and the higher low. That is a large move. Doesn't mean the bulls can't do it, but volume will tell us if the bulls are running out of steam, and we do have declining volume. So just be careful there with Ethereum. Got a nice little channel. That's ugly. You're going to notice with my technical analysis, I don't like trend lines. It's something that I will take note of, but I don't base trades on them because they're so subjective. So what people do is, did this trend line work? Oh yeah, that worked. Oh wait, it moved. Let me okay, let me move my trend line. When you have that type of subjectivity, it just makes it a less reliable trading indicator. Price action will keep your nose clean. 25.33.95 is your near-term support for Ethereum. Now let's go into the movers and shakers, technical analysis. I saw a question about Amazon. So we have a huge move. This is my primary focus for the rest of the week. They have earnings Thursday. I've been loud and proud about my Amazon long positions. This is the prettiest weekly chart that I have in my arsenal of tricks, tools, and charts. If we're going to play King of the Mountain and say, okay, what is the best chart you see, Lori? It's Amazon to the weekly. The only problem is we got earnings Thursday, and that is a gamble. We have a lot of energy storing in the tank. I may hold one small options position into earnings, which I'm willing to lose all. So it'll be a buy to open, not a sell to open premium. So with Amazon, what does the stock split mean? So Jeff Bezos is no longer the CEO. He stepped down. I believe he will be the chairman, or he is stepping down, and he will be the chairman. Bezos has been totally opposed to any type of stock split. So that means new CEO, ergo whomever he is may be open to a stock split. So stock split, let's just say it gets to 4,000. Makes my head not hurt as much on this Tuesday morning. If we were to have a 5-to-1 stock split, that means each share would be worth $800 a share. And now if you own one share of Amazon at 4,000, you would then own 5 shares at $800. It literally does nothing to the stock whatsoever. It can make it cheaper and increase the float size. But there is a perceived value with a stock split saying, hey, I can afford more shares at $800 a share. So then it goes up. And remember, we have Tesla. I'm spending a lot of time on this, but I think it's important. We have Tesla in our recent memory. Tesla did a stock split and everybody started clamoring in. Now, we have more shorts on Tesla than we do Amazon, so it got kind of squeezy. But there's this perceived increased demand because retail traders will have more access to Amazon, to shares, and to options. Options are very expensive with Amazon. If you decrease the cost of options, you're going to have more stock. Option buyers require MMs, market movers, market makers. They have to go buy the underlying to protect their options position. So it's just the circular effect of bull propulsion or move up. So with Amazon, it's just looking great. I am in call spreads. I am in calls. Our all-time high is up at 355.225. So let me go back. We did have a resistance right there. No, we're over it. 243593. We need to get over that during regular trading hours. And after regular trading hours, your next resistance is up at 2478.25. Nope, got to go back to Amazon. Didn't give you support. Support is down at 341752, 3409. CCIV, with rumors yesterday that Apple would choose them to be their EV maker of choice or partner or whatever. You know what I mean. So right here, we had a block or an area of buying yesterday. So the bull said, I like it in here. This is where I think I'm going to buy. So if we were to re-enter into this zone, this could be an area to buy. CCIV 2255 is your key support. How long will this rumor be a rumor and the price still move up on this rumor? We don't know. It may need to be confirmed sooner than later, or you could have a fade. So 2255 is your key support from yesterday. From pre-market, 2368 your support. Resistance up at 2460, $25. EBET is on my list only because of the technical setup. We are getting real tight. 2180 is your key resistance, 2014 is your key support. It is storing energy. This is a really tight chart. NIO, lots of volume yesterday. 42.11 is your key support, then 40.86. Resistance, we are double topping right now at yesterday's high, 43.22. We double topped at 43.25. We got a trend trade on the hourly. If you're in NIO, stay in that sucker as long as we get candle closes above the EMA. OCGN with tons of pre-market volume, 10.78 is your key support, then 9.20. Resistance, 11.66, 12.66. UPS with a monster. Okay, I got to stop and show you all this. Look at this. So this is just the domestic segment of UPS. First quarter of last year, revenue 14 billion, operating profit 1.3 million. Which I think that's 1.3 billion. It is 1.3 billion. Okay, then first quarter of last year, same time period, 364 million. And profit 1.35 billion from first quarter of last year to first quarter of this year. You don't think COVID didn't change the way that we do business? UPS, I may look for a call buying opportunity at open with this monster move into all-time high. This is the good stuff. Now, I would expect I'm going to buy a lotto size depending on open, how it goes, what the volume is. So my eyes will be trained down here. I want to make sure there's volume backing up this move. If it pulls down to 188.54 or 186.74, that may be an area to buy. Now, remember, we had huge buybacks on what was that, Bank of America 2 weeks ago. What happened? Nothing. Big old dud. GS, what happened? Big buybacks. It was okay. So just because I have a fundamental interpretation that this was a killer earnings doesn't mean it's going to follow through like I want. So I will resort to buying lotto size positions. So, I really like UPS. FedEx is having a sympathy move. So FedEx on any pullback may be a buying opportunity, and the premiums may not be as high because these two twins are going to run together, because FedEx is going to get a sympathy play where buyers are going to say, hey, I'm going to go buy over at FedEx because they haven't reported, or have they? Yeah, they haven't reported yet, and they may report great earnings like UPS, so I'll get a deal over there. Tesla had an earnings beat, lots of naysayers out there. So regardless, beat, win, not beat, lose, just forget the fundamentals on this sucker, because people are trying to trap you both ways. You have resistance up at, can't see that, up at 725.84. 738.20, 745. You have support at 714.16. And then 712.53. We do have Elon at Saturday Night Live this Saturday night. Remember that. We will see. He totally debunked the safety concerns and said that it's a flat out lie. There are no safety concerns. It was an autopilot issue. They are having supply chain issues, but they didn't beat Bloomberg's expectations, but they beat the street. And finally, SPY. And then I'll go over to your questions. I have a few minutes before Dan gets started over in the TCG chat room. So with SPY, we got a spike up to 18.49, but that wasn't a lot of volume. So our key levels for SPY are, so I'm going to clear this out, and I'm going to let you take a screenshot if you'd like. 418.22, 418.27, 418.49. That's your key resistances. Support 417.43, 417.32, and 416.97. Let you screenshot that. We started building energy yesterday toward the end of day, so just something to note that we have a TTM squeeze on SPY, so we could really get going, especially if people are anticipating good earnings from Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, all the various ones. Okay, now let me go to your questions. Cancel that. The indicator on the bottom, TTM squeeze, it is... So when you have blue above the zero line, that is bull momentum. When you have Burger King colors below the zero line, red and orange, that is bearish momentum. So this is a momentum oscillator. This is showing momentum ramping up. momentum slightly melting down, and this is momentum to the downside. The red dots just means the pressure cooker's going and we're storing energy. Okay. Oh, that's a great idea, Greg. Let's get some merch going. Okay. Thanks, Benjamin, for all your help. Yep, Luz, it may take a while. Yep, we're focused on teaching TA. So I like to say that our swing report service, we are we have a fish service where we teach you where to go fish, where to drop your line, what depth drop your line, where the fish are huddled. But overall, the whole objective and purpose of TCG is to teach you how to fish. You should be able to pull up any chart and look at price action and say, okay, this is a high probability area to go long. This is a high probability area to go short, high probability setup. And then you start looking at all the data and thin slicing data. And what I like to think is that we help you thin slice data faster by constantly giving you repetition. Oh, I've seen that before. Oh, I've seen that before. I know what to do with that scenario. And my last note that I had written down, I wanted to say today, if you're a newer trader and you studied the Amazon chart, the Tesla chart, and the Google chart for today, and someone says, oh, look at Etsy, oh, look at WDay, ignore them. You are not prepared and you have not studied for that test. So today, we've studied overnight, we studied this morning, you have your charts marked up and you say, okay, I'm ready for Amazon, I'm ready for Neo, whatever chart you studied and you're prepared for and is in your wheelhouse of what you're good at, you take that test today. It's like studying for algebra all night. And then the next day you say, oh, science test, that sounds fun. I'll take a science test. No, you're not ready for a science test. What have you prepared for? What is your wheelhouse? What is your trade setup? Are your alerts set? Is your chart marked up? Do you have your orders ready in your broker? There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to be ready for a trade. It takes a lot of experience to have the agility and mental agility to say, oh, that chart looks good. And then you jump in because you can then slice data and you know what you're doing and you can create a trade plan fairly quickly. If you're a newer trader, have a pen and paper. And be ready, be prepared. And if another test comes up and it's like geometry, no, I didn't study for that. You didn't study for that. Don't sit for that test. You will fail. Only sit for the charts or trade the charts you're prepared for. All right. MNMD, this is going to be a weird day with technicals because it was uplist and just trade price action. Okay, one more. Man, I really went over today. SQ, yep, SQ looks ready to go. It looks great. We have a TTM squeeze on the weekly where we've been storing energy. We have earnings on May 6th. All right, I got to go. Love y'all to pieces. See y'all tomorrow, and hopefully I have no false starts.